So I wanted to conclude this playlist with the problem at the core of it. So this is happening where women are standing up all over the country. There's meetings. We're using media. I think Posey Parker got a billboard up by her. I don't know. But, you know, we're doing that. But the barrier that we have to cross is immense. And I'm going to tell you what that barrier looks like, because it's not, you know, the abuse. You know, Laurie Penny and James Butler and Aaron Bastani and Owen Jones might have agreed to use abuse and intimidation to be the fringe of this class, but actually the structures that have to be altered here are enormous. You know, think tanks at the minute, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to go near them. Because the conversation that's really difficult to have is the one where you're, like, I was at lunch with someone 7 or 8 months ago, and this person was lovely. Intelligent, research director at a major organisation. But, you know, his background was that he'd decided to be a bit nicer than his peers at an Oxbridge University. And he didn't think that he needed to know how these institutions worked. You know, he's a really nice guy. A research director at a really important think tank who do cross-party work, who do really great work. But, you know, they will tell you glibly in conversation that they do not know how these systems function. Academics at the LSE will tell you that they do not need to know how these systems function, because all they need to know is the knowledge that they have. And actually the knowledge that they have, they do not have. And the knowledge that they need, they do not have, because you have it. And so part of this process through the self-ID crisis, whatever the outcome in terms of trans rights, the outcome of this crisis will be that there is a level of renewed understanding of the significance of safeguarding across a number of institutions where scalps were attached to the word TERF. There will be a significantly increased understanding. One of the things that's going on with Helen Lewis and Sarah Ditum in the last couple of years is that they're learning about the systems that their publications didn't know about in 2010 to 2012. And, you know, many of those women who are at institutions where they didn't even know about the existence of these systems, they might be leading the charge, but this is the first time they've ever learned about these systems. But, you know, the crisis means that they're doing that. That's good. That's natural, an organic process. That's how conflict creates crisis. That's how power dynamics create crisis. And I know I'm infuriating for people because I'm not looking at, you know, the outcome of the GRC review, because by and large the gender recognition certificate has been rendered worthless by trans activists. And the recognition of the rest of the rule of law, which is what I'm discussing, was overdue, but that's what they're forcing. And almost, you know, crises are like that, they're really fucking efficient. So what this crisis is doing is organically correcting that understanding. So it should be a case of, as long as we know that that's occurring, we can work with it, and we can, you know, we're actually doing something really constructive. You know, this isn't activism that's about destroying stuff, it's about correcting this blind spot so that we can have stability as a country and have policy that works. But the barrier that we have to get over is actually a social network that's highly visible on Twitter, where they don't want to know this stuff. And, you know, when Sarah Ditum says the turf wars started 6 years ago, that's what she means. That's the first time she ever had to learn about these systems. The turf wars. And that's what the turf wars are doing. Which is not very helpful to the trans women I know who haven't done anything. Although I have to stop using the term trans women, and I do, because it's a linguistic tick that's allowed some really bad things to happen. I now have to say transsexual. This is a fucking mess, isn't it, really? But it feels like a mess. But actually, in the wider context, it's probably a bit more ordered than it appears, and a bit more useful than it appears.